Hi everyone, thank you for joining my video today as I talk about the art of simplicity covered in John C. Maxwell's book, Everyone Communicates, Few Connect. John C. Maxwell covers this subject, the art of simplicity, in 5 main points in his book. The first, talk to people, not above them. The second, get to the point. Third, say it over and over again. Fourth, say it clearly. And finally, say less. So I'm going to go back through these 5 points and give you a brief example or point to remember in regards to each point. So the first, talk to people, not above them. What John C. Maxwell means by this is speaking at a level that your listeners can understand. As a communicator, you don't want to be like the, for example, science teacher who talks above their students' level. This could be the concepts or the terms that some students just don't understand, and yet a science teacher expects them to know or to have a good understanding of as they go through the lecture, but they don't really explain it at a level that the students understand. I know I'm picking on science teachers, but often this is what happens. The second is get to the point. All good communicators get to the point before their listeners start asking, what is the point? This makes sense, as John C. Maxwell says, because you want to make sure your point is known before you get too deep in your message. You want to give your listeners the optimal understanding of your message. So by giving them the point right off the bat, they're able to do this. Third, he says, say it over and over again. He's quoted saying, the first time you say something, it's heard. The second time you say something, it's recognized. And third, it's learned. I think this really resonates with me because it's like reiterating your point over and over again. When you reiterate your point, you're able to pound your message into the listener's mind, and they technically are able to remember that a lot more. His fourth point is say it clearly. When we speak clearly and simply, our listeners, or the people we're trying to communicate with, understand far more. It's a no-brainer. Saying something clearly in a way that is simple is optimal for your listener. They definitely understand more, and it's clearer to them. They're not confused by what you're saying or by extra, filler points or stuff like that. Fifth, his point is say less. If you want to communicate and begin connecting with people more, don't try to overload them with information or overload them with your intellect. Rather, give them clarity and simplicity over the latter. This makes sense to me. You don't want your listeners to be like, well, you gave me a lot of information, but there's so much that I, couldn't remember one certain point. By keeping it clear and simple, you're able to drive home the main points and give your listeners the optimal understanding of your message. I just want to thank you all for looking at this video again and taking a look at the art of simplicity as John Maxwell summarizes in his book. Thank you very much.